Because we're going in, James, do you want to go into your insights, your intuitive insights, since I feel that you're sort of edging in there?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
go for it.
I'm happy to continue in because I also wanted to mention when Sebastian mentioned about Uranus and Taurus and the completion of Libra. Um, there's this, and what he was talking about was the piece about how everything's shifting, and Elon Musk had mentioned um, that there'd be a day where much of life is automated and the humans, and thereby would governments or so forth, would we be shifting to a stipend type thing of, and what has been coming to me for quite some time to comment and add on to that piece is just the fact that we're going to go from work to works. Works are the joy, they're the pleasure, they're the soul. They're the soul expressing ourselves, as opposed to work is this thing, as Sebastian articulated, this thing that you go to for hours on end that you may like, you may not. So many people in life go through life doing work. They work at things that they don't love. They never really truly show their inner essence, their divine essence, their inner child, the whole piece. They don't do what they love. And so for me, when he was speaking about that, intuitively, the knowing that I have is that we're moving to a time where it's about works. The work will be automated. The work, certain things and functions and all this functionality will be done, by AI or machines or something, so that the human experience becomes one of works, of great joy and pleasure in expressing our true identities, in expressing our true divine essence. And thereby, as Kelly has articulated, and Matt, you've done brilliantly with all of the tying together of this astrologically, is the fact that we won't be focused on these shell things, these outer dark side things and so forth. We'll be focused on the inner light of our essence. We'll be focused on that joy. So I wanted to just add that in because it's such a rich conversation, and go into then.
Can I just say, James,
Absolutely.
that I agree. That's been my idea about what AI will do as well. And I don't know about Sebastian, but I think he agrees. No, that we'll be elevated into talking about conversations that we're having now.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly this. And so it's not something for us to fear. Yes, as Sebastian articulated, is it all sunshine and roses, the age of Aquarius and everything? No, there is going to be the growth process. However, the faster we move through to the gratitude piece, where we do let go, that is then going to usher us in much faster. And so, as Kelly's piece was articulating, where is it that you tried to control something only to find out that the unseen had something else for you? How quickly did you receive that and move into receptiveness to it and gratitude with it? But this is going to be the shift. This is going to be the age of Aquarius is going to usher in our divinity, is the way I'm hearing it just now. It's like it's literally going to usher us into a state of divine being. We've been we've fallen from that grace. That's the whole story of Adam and Eve and the fall from grace and everything. And so this is the return. And to speak to what I received for everyone for this week. Last week was about advance and the age of Aquarius and these things that we're talking about. This week, the headline that the big piece was awakening, and they said opening the awaited door within, the golden door. And so, what they're speaking about, and I'm going to read about an excerpt from a book, but what they're speaking about is that internally, inside of us, we each have this golden door, this awaited door within that's going to open. And they showed me the Toy Story. They gave me the Toy Story adventure. And of course, the story, the plot about the Toy Story franchise, if you will, the movies, is that inanimate objects come to life. And at first I was kind of scratching my head for a minute and going, well, we're human. And, and yet what they were saying is, and yet we've been in a state of being inanimate, like not truly being alive, not truly being present, being in our complete pureness, oneness. And so here is this thing of this experience will be that it's like the Toy Story adventures, that it's about becoming alive, truly, color to technicolor, becoming alive. Um, and they gave me hexagram 18, which is about decay and repairing what's spoiled. So in essence, we're going to repair, as we see with all of this, whether it's governments or the 300 billion company that doesn't meet its obligations and so forth, or control, all of these are forms of decay, whether it's the governments or individuals or corporations being less than. We're going to repair what's spoiled. And then they were speaking to the fact that it's about the heart center. And they were very specific. I knew instantly it's not the heart, it's not the heart chakra, it's not the organ. They said it's the center of being. It resides in the area of the sternum. And they said the emerald light. And Matt, you started today all about with Scorpio and seeing the light. And this is about us seeing, truly coming into, seeing, resonating, being the emerald light, the soma, the wisdom, the life, the knowledge. And they said, when you take a cube tilted on its angle, so a square, a cube, tilted on a 45-degree angle, it becomes a six-sided emerald. And that is the six-sided emerald that is contained within our heart center, our center of being. And then they said, we're going to circle back. And I'm going to read the excerpt so it'll tie all of this together. But they were saying, and then, of course, we're circling back to where we began, an octave higher. And they said, you may, in this process, so we're circling back to where we began this state of purity, this state of divinity. And they said, you may experience frustration, resistance, irritation, and then an overwhelming sense of peace, love, joy, and prosperity. And then they said, and propensity. And propensity means an inclination or natural tendency to behave in a way or a manner. So we're going to go through frustrations. We're going to go through this. Do we have the three fingers? I'm not letting go yet, as you just said, Matt. And how that can create frustration or overwhelm or irritation or resistance. And yet, the minute we let go, this overwhelming sense of peace, of love, of joy, because as Kelly's piece, as everyone has been talking about, Sebastian, there's something greater here on offer. And so this is where that's all going to culminate. And I just wanted to read this excerpt because they had given it to me. It's from the book Walking in Albion. And they said, the emerald is a name given to an electromagnetic doorway about 2 inches long to the right of the sternum and starting at the third rib down. It's called the emerald because that is its color, and it appears as a double terminated emerald crystal shank. It is not the same center as either the Anahata or outer heart chakra or the Ananda Kanda or inner heart chakra, but rather is the third arcane aspect of the triple aspected heart chakra. It's had many other names: green stone, cube of space, Eben HaShataya, foundation stone. It's been known as the wishing fulfilling gem, the Zohar, Jerusalem, stone of destiny, narthex tube, and heart. Judaic mysticism says the Supreme Being took some of the primordial light from creation and put it inside a glowing jewel or stone called the Zohar. Later, it was called the Ner Tamid, eternal light, and was hung in the tabernacle over the Ark of the Torah. Kabbalists give us yet another description. They write of the cube of space, how Yah, the Supreme Being, sealed primordial space in 6 directions, creating a cube. Then all subsequent creation, i.e., the unfolding of the 4 trees of life and the 40 Sephirah, took place inside this cube. The worlds of structured hierarchical light are all in there. The emerald is a miniaturized holographic version of this cube of space now found inside every human. Everybody got one upon incarnation. So this is the piece, and they relate this awakening, they relate this emerald and this cube and this light, this emerald light, to the connection when our soul source connection. It's the connection when we're that which we connect to, that when we listen from a very intuitive standpoint, when we're connected in that way. So it is to bring about that aspect, that in this moment, what's coming in this piece of dark and light and seeing the light. And as you'd mentioned at the very beginning, Matt, where with these water signs, the eyes are limited, is because we're going to awaken internally. This emerald light within is going to awaken, and we're going to see from the inside out, as opposed to visually, externally, as we've talked about from these other aspects, and Kelly's point so poignantly addressed. We will see from a new perspective.
Yeah, thank you, James. I think that those points are really good. One of the things that we've been talking about at the beginning was, this idea that of the holographic reality, right? These cubes that James is talking about, and the 10 Sephirot, and how we look from the inside out. Really, if we go back to those beginning podcasts that you can go back to, we were all talking about how this year really we're going to be able to understand that science more. So that idea that everything in this world is really just a reflection of where my consciousness is at, where I'm up to in my spiritual process, where that emerald light within is just shining out, but I'm also being reflected back where I'm up to in my process. So it's like we're just in a holographic reality, in a hologram, and everything that is being shown to me is really where I'm at in terms of my own spiritual journey. And as the Kabbalists say, consciousness is everything, and everything is conscious. So I'm just in a conscious hologram that is continually moving as I grow and expand my consciousness. As I move spiritually, I change the world around me. So and it's a very difficult concept, because as Sebastian said at the beginning, we're so in the world of abstract. Aquarius, the energy of Aquarius is either really fixed and really material and physical, and I've got this one fact and I'm sticking to it, or we're completely in this abstract, 6-dimensional world of a holographic reality, which our mind can't get around, right? So here in this age of Aquarius, where those are the new rich and poor. That is the new rich and poor, right? Where am I low conscious, fixed thinking, right? Your Facebook friends on there, banging away at that old point that the same thing, their stories are the same every day, their posts are the same, they're on the same topic, they're banging on about it, and they're not letting it go, and they're going to win it, and nobody's listening anymore, but there's right? And that is the lowest point of reality that you can be in, right? The minute you're allowed a view, we're not saying that, but the minute you fix on it, and the minute you really think it's right and the truth and the absolute must way, you're at the poorest you can be in the age of Aquarius. That is the new poor, right? The new rich is coming in and working on our consciousness, listening to the ancients, the Kabbalists in particular, but if whatever is ancient about this high wisdom of the quantum reality that we are living in, because Kabbalah is a tool and a technology for understanding a quantum reality and how to work within it. right? It's an advanced cutting edge science that is 5,000 years ahead of where our physical science is at. So once you understand that, you can move your consciousness. That's all you need to move in order to grow, right? So the activity that Kelly did today is a consciousness raising activity, right? You have gained wealth by doing that activity and understanding something that you can move your whole reality in. That is the new wealth. Kelly is the new crypto of the Aquarian age, right? And probably all of you in here helping who help other people are the new crypto, right? You're the new wealth, you're the new coinage, you're the new finance mechanism, because without that, nobody's moving forward in the age of Aquarius. We're in a multidimensional, abstract, quantum reality. I don't even know what I'm talking about when I'm saying that, because I can't imagine it. But I'm trying to understand that whatever my thought is, right, is really just being informed of what my consciousness is, right? So I've got to get the consciousness right so that my thought, my words, my actions are all being informed by the highest level consciousness possible, so that the results in my life are from that highest place that I can possibly get to in the part of the process that I'm in, right? Is this what you're saying, James? Am I going off on a tangent? This is what am
Yeah,
I talking about, right?
no, that's exactly it. That is exactly, you've articulated it brilliantly. That is exactly the new currency. That is going to be the new way, the new world. And thus, as Sebastian was articulating, this is where we're going to see all these in the previous podcast. This is where all the former institutions, ways of being, and everything crumble, because they must, and it won't matter how hard they cleave, because to Kelly's exercise, once you're done with the control and the manipulation and all of this other stuff, and you find that it didn't work, there was a force greater than you at hand that is ushering us in. It's ushering you individually, and it's ushering us globally and cosmically forward, and thereby, as one falls, the new rises. And we are there to, we all incarnated to come and have this experience, to be a part of it, to play our role. And that will be then the burgeoning of the new. We usher in the new by letting go of the past.